Hey, welcome to Feast Days, Conversations in Hospitality and Feasting in the Church. My name is Mark Grapengater, your host, and today I have James Daniels, who is a dear friend of mine from Chelsea, Alabama, which is right outside of Birmingham. He is a church planter, originally from Arkansas, and I'm so grateful to have you with us here this morning, James. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks, buddy.
I'm super excited about our conversation. We talk regularly, which is fantastic, but to be able to have this conversation for other people to listen in on you and how God has created you to do ministry. But before we get there, you were not always a pastor. So what did you do before ordained ministry? How'd you get there?
Thanks for asking that question. I grew up in Arkansas. I went to seminary in Memphis, and so I was in education for 20 years. And so in that span, I ended up in a lot of different schools, talking to a lot of different people, at a lot of different churches. And I always knew in the back of my mind that I would be a pastor or at least be on staff. And so the education world brought me to Birmingham. I was the head of the high school, the principal there here in Birmingham. And at some point, I feel like God called me to, I guess, be a part of a church. And I like the idea of it. I didn't know he kind of played me to the left on that because, I thought like, what church you want me to be a part of, God? He's like, no, you're not understanding. You need to be planting a church. And I was like, oh man, don't tell me that. And so that's kind of how I ended up in Chelsea, Alabama.
Yeah. Why? So I forgot that you were in Birmingham already. Why? Yeah. And Chelsea's what, 20 minutes outside Birmingham proper? Is that about right?
Yeah.
Why? How'd you pick Chelsea? How'd you get there, and like specifically in planting a church there?
Yeah, I think some people are called to church planting, and then they look for a community. I was already in love with the community, and so I'm pretty rational. I'm not existential, but I just felt like one time God just kind of said, what would it look like to do what you love to do in Chelsea? And so at that point, I was like, man, I've already fallen in love with Chelsea. I'm like, God, like, tell me what you want me to do. It's the opposite of going to Nineveh. I was already comfortable and I already loved where I lived. And so in that way, I was like, man, like, please, God, like, if you want me to do anything, please let it be in Chelsea. And so that's really how it played out.
Yeah. So, were you guys living in Chelsea previously?
Oh yeah, we had already.
Place?
Yeah, we were living in Chelsea. I mean, that's a part of it. I was living in Chelsea, like already loving on my neighbors, already accepted by the people around me, already thinking about what does it mean to be a part of a community, because Chelsea at the time was 15,000 people.
Yeah.
And so that's something I can wrap my head around. And I love that because I can't eliminate the poor in the United States, or I can't eliminate the poor in Birmingham. I can be a part of eliminating the poor in Chelsea. And so I love I'm more of a parish priest. Like, give me 5 square miles and I will thrive. You give me wide open spaces, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where to start.
That's fantastic. So you began kind of in your driveway, right?
Yeah. So after that calling to the church, I thought about, man, the people that I know in this area, what would resonate with them?
Mm-hmm.
What do they, where would they want to gather? What would they want to do? And Chelsea really doesn't have a lot of third spaces,
Okay.
meaning we don't have a lot of places to hang out. And I was like, man, what if I'm really going to do this church well, what would that look like to create a third space? And so I was like, man, what if our first purchase as a church was a smoker,
Mm-hmm.
like a barbecue smoker?
Yeah.
And I just recently saw my dad with this custom made rotisserie smoker. And I was like, that is uh, the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, let's think about this. And especially in the South, there's only one thing that would really truly bring black, white, Republican, liberals all together, and that's the universal language of food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called my friends. I was like, man, the first thing I want to do, I want to buy the smoker. And like, how much is a smoker? I'm like, man, it's almost $3,000. And they're like, we're in. And after you buy it, like, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll come back around on that. Because, and here's the real, and I'll say it this way, and then I'll be quiet for a moment. My vision for the church was to create a culture of people that understood what I call a front porch liturgy,
Mm-hmm.
which means in Chelsea, half the town, they're coming in, they're driving in, they're opening garage doors, they're going in, they're shutting it down, and any grilling that they're doing, anything they're doing is only for their family in the back of their house.
Yeah.
What I tried to do from the beginning is get my people to understand, like, do you understand the power of moving that to your front of your house where people see it
Mm-hmm.
when they're walking by, and people understand that you have opened a space that rarely do they see in a lot of ways. So,
Mm-hmm. So you fire up the smoker, you get the smoker,
yeah.
and you're in a community that, even in the South isn't always community oriented,
And they're
or
not
public.
used to it.
Yeah, they're not used to that.
Even in the South.
What was it like getting people to come over? Was that a hard, like, ask and invite, or did people jump at it pretty quick?
In the beginning, it was a series of failures.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Because people weren't used to it, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, they didn't know us that well. So, they were kind of like, what is this guy about? Is he really authentic?
Mm-hmm.
Is he just doing the bait and switch as a pastor where invite you over to food, but you know what? I'm going to try to talk you into believing in Jesus. And, that was really hard in the beginning because people weren't used to it. We burned some money and burned some meat. Well, that I had to end up taking over to the fire department and the sheriff's office, stuff like that, because we would have 10 people show up.
Yeah.
When we thought we would have 40.
Yeah.
And man, if you're a pastor, not even a pastor, if you're anybody else and you start to show hospitality, get ready for disappointment and be okay with that, because it's going to take a while, number one, to get credibility, but number two, just realize people have things going on, and sometimes you're going to fail at it. And when you fail at it, like, okay, do it again and do it again and do it again. So,
was there a turning point at some point when
Yes.
now people are coming over
Hmm.
and we can't kick them out early enough? And
Yeah.
I've heard
Uh,
stories, so yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a turning point. I think the turning point is getting to establishing credibility
Hmm.
when people can trust you
Yeah.
and they
How'd you do
know
that?
that. The biggest thing is this is gonna like I think this is gonna kind of not be kosher with some people,
Sure.
and that is, um, people would come over and they're like, "Wait, you're a pastor?" And it's like, "Yeah, I don't usually lead with that because I feel like people are gonna act differently
Hmm.
when they know about that."
Yeah.
They knew me in the community at that point. The second thing is they're like, "Are you gonna, say a prayer? Are you going to, you know, preach to us
Hmm.
tonight?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Do you want me to?" Meaning that they had already gotten to know me in the community and they started to know me by my hospitality and my um, generosity
Hmm.
before they knew me as a pastor.
Yeah.
It's funny because even today, there's a lot of people when I walk out in the community, they're like, "Brisket man," "Barbecue
Yeah.
man," they say things like that. And I'm like, I'm honored by that. But I do think at some point you've got to, like, what if you just, whoever it is who walks in, you just treat them like a human being
Hmm.
and you love on them and you feed them good food and then they're like, I've never experienced this before.
Yeah.
We don't have places like this in Chelsea. I'm like, no, we don't. And then what I realized is people started lingering after.
Hmm.
They started staying around. The guy that showed up that was already halfway lit when he got there, like we gave him enough food to kind of
Yeah.
sober him up. And then he's talking about how he hates God.
Hmm.
I'm like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And he's like, can I stay a little longer?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
So, at some point, the transition becomes less about what I do and the food and all of that, and more about what God does in those spaces when we create them.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have fears like yourself entering into like some real relationships and having to show up as yourself maybe before being a pastor, or was that natural for you?
Man, okay, I've thought about this a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Matter of fact, my wife and I were talking about that the other day, and man, I think hospitality is almost like another spiritual gift in some ways. Meaning, my wife has this like simplified, beautiful faith.
Hmm.
I'm more like the disciples when Jesus said, "Are you going to walk away?" And I'm like, "I don't have any will, so
Yeah.
like, where am I going to go?"
Yeah.
And that's really mine. And so, it just happened to be all the planets aligned, and my wife and I have hospitality in different ways.
Yeah.
Meaning that I am pretty dang good at cooking barbecue. My wife, she's good at receiving people
Hmm.
in.
Yeah.
Like I always say, she takes in strays in that. So that's a part of it, and I think sometimes we got to be careful. It's like anything else that's kind of a spiritual gift, and I don't like the whole like put you in a box spiritual gift thing. That's
Hmm.
not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I am saying that the Holy Spirit has bestowed us with good things. And my my people, not all my people are good at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't come natural to them. It comes natural to me, and I need to stop imposing that upon them. But at the same time, I'm going to tell them if we are going to be the body of Christ, you guys need to make sure that when people come over, that
Hmm.
y'all are not all sitting in the corner
Right.
and, talking to each other. If you see somebody you haven't seen before, you need to go out. You need to embrace them.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of this is, yeah, I'm naturally gifted at it.
Mm-hmm.
I just am.
Yeah.
And I'm not apologizing for that. There's a patience, love, hope. I'm not great at that. Faith. I'm not great at that. Hospitality.
Yeah.
I'm being a little funny about that,
Yeah.
but I think the biggest thing is for our people, they needed to see it.
Yeah.
It was foreign to them, just like it was to the people in our neighborhood that may never darken the door of the church.
Yeah.
But now they have a model. Now they're, I say, listen, don't sit in the corner. You need to go do that.
Right. Right.
They see me doing it. They see my wife doing it. And I think this idea of modeling it and immersing them in that
Yeah.
is far better than anything I can do by saying, you need to be more hospitable.
Right. Right.
And that's like anything in Christianity, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Doing it yourself.
Mhm.
It's hard. It's hard for pastors to do that. We have so many other things to juggle, especially church planners. So that's
Yeah.
pretty. I mean, that's.
I mean, you got to
great.
make it a priority.
Yeah, it
And
has
if
to be
you,
intentional.
yeah, and if you can't do it, I mean, if it doesn't come, like you and I have talked enough where I know it comes natural to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't come natural, to them, there's still no excuse.
Even in
Um,
even I feel like in my practice of it, it still has to be intentional. We still make a
Yeah.
plan. We still
Mhm.
write out who we're going to invite. Because
Yeah.
otherwise we could go, we have 3 kids at home still. So it would be very easy just to focus on them in our,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
we're doing in our house. So,
Yeah. Well, I think too for pastors, it's got to interface with what we do all during the week. I mean, we talk about these big events. Like, I have these big barbecues and I just had everybody over 4th of July,
yeah.
40 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. But I think we've got to bring that into our rhythm every week,
Yeah.
which means, um, man, even when I was in schooling, I hated offices
Yeah.
because it felt like people had to come to you.
Yeah.
Hospitality is a weird combination of saying, yes, I'm going to host,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm going to invite you to come to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about hospitality. And as a pastor, um, it's funny because I work in my basement,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times I have my garage door up, and people will say, "Are you in your office?" Which would mean, "Are you in your driveway?" And it's so much better
Yeah.
than being in this sterile, situation. It is a little harder in the South where it's 150 degrees outside, but they know where to find me.
Yeah.
And also, I got people walking by all the time, and I'm out there, and they are they love the fact that I'm accessible,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that accessibility is in vulnerability in hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, it's radical.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hospitality is radically
Mhm.
vulnerable for you, both for you as the host and for the guest. Because, like you
Yeah.
said, when people are coming over, they don't know, the first time what are you going to preach at them, what's going to happen, and all of
Well,
that, and you don't know necessarily who these people are coming
we're
over all
doing
the
our
time
best
either.
to make that very comfortable for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I will say this, we talked about this part where I was like, man, you're asking like, are there failures? So like, yeah, there's failures.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's also like this rawness and just a little craziness
Yeah.
about it. Meaning there's people that come over and they've had a little bit too much to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to ask them like, are you okay?
Yeah.
There's people that come over that are already drunk,
Yeah.
that are not a part of our church, and they're just and and they're making catcalls at some of the ladies there. And I'm saying, if you're not comfortable with that,
Right.
then you really don't get hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to let that guy by with that?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
But at the same time, am I going to follow up with him and forgive him and say, man, we all have our bad days.
Yeah.
Like, you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Like, but don't show up like that again.
showing some grace.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? Eudora Weldy that said, you don't really know about hospitality until you have a party and somebody stole your silverware and threw up on your
Mm-hmm.
Persian rug.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard, like,
Yeah.
I may be getting that all wrong, but man, there's a messiness to this.
Yeah.
You know why? Because of the messiness to the gospel.
Yeah.
And if you are afraid of that,
Yeah.
maybe you don't need plant a church.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't need to be a pastor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not scared of a lot, but sometimes I'm like, man, that's pretty rough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you start having folks over in your driveway as
Mhm.
kind of initial community gathering things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you moved your smoker to Walmart parking lots. Am I getting this right? Tell me about how did that come about? What was
Yeah.
the reaction?
Yeah. So there's this, I guess not juxtaposition, but extension of hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
where, I mean, I think it's kind of the Judeo-Samaria,
Yeah.
and so we've kind of taken that model a little bit. First thing, it starts in your home. And listen, here's where I figured out, like, I've got to get my people experiencing this, not in my driveway, but also in theirs.
Yeah.
And then I'm modeling it because I'm like, we are not just a church in the city, but for the city.
Yeah.
And so hospitality follows that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we show up at barbecue events. We show up at any event,
Mm-hmm.
like anything we can do that they will let us set up our smoker and a table,
Yeah.
and just people handing out good food, not tracts, just good food.
Yep.
Because it's a first showing of our church.
Yep.
And then after that, we show up at the Walmart parking lot.
Okay.
Man, you don't know what you're getting in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
In the South, man, but the bottom line is this: we want the community to see us as we want to establish a presence
Mm-hmm.
in the community, and not just to show up at City Hall, which I do and pray a lot. And I am involved in, city council. I'm friends with the mayor, all that. Not bragging, but I'm saying you got to be involved in that,
Right.
because that's where people trust you. And then at the end of the day, you're serving without expectation.
Mm.
And I think that's crucial to hospitality.
Yeah.
Meaning, because everybody like the people you're serving and the people that's giving, we all live in a world that's transactional. The gospel is not transactional.
Yeah.
Like, if God held, everything against me that I've done wrong or I've done right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be far different. And so what we're trying to get our people to understand is, like, get off the grid of, oh, look at what I did. Like, I'm the token person that gave food out to people that needed food or whatever. Like, just get off that transactional mindset, because the gospel is not transactional. And at the end of the day, I want my people to give out, whether people say thank you, whether they, come to our church or whatever. Why would you do that? I don't want to give out food and serve my community to try to talk them into coming to my church.
Yeah.
Or to talk them into praying a prayer, or talk them into, hey, can you give a donation to who we are?
Yeah.
And when people see that kind of radical generosity, it's going to be transformative.
Yeah. So transformation rather than transaction. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll use that in my next sermon thing.
You got there. Yeah. You said it.
I had the idea. Yeah.
Tell me about, I want to side quest in barbecue for a minute. Like, what's transformational about barbecue? Like, tell me about the process. Tell me about, like, what you do to, do barbecue for yourself. Like, why do you love the barbecue you make?
Well, I mean, I love the barbecue I make because I think it's the best in Alabama. But but here's the thing about barbecue, man. Like the South has this deep tradition that transcends race or anywhere else. I mean, you got whites, blacks, everybody that are cooking great barbecue in the South.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this, like if I'm cooking a steak or I'm cooking, pasta, like that's not a part of our culture.
Yeah.
In the South. Like, do we like it? Of course.
Yeah.
If I was in Italy, in Florence, and I'd probably be cooking pasta and, some of the best meat I've ever had, by the way. I've been to Florence.
Yeah.
And drinking a good Chianti.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's what I would do. And that's really it. It's pretty simple. It's not that we're trying to, it's not that we just, put a dartboard and threw it on there, and said, barbecue.
Right.
Like, no, this is our culture.
Yeah.
And it's a culture that everybody can share.
Yeah.
Rich, white, Republican, Democrat, black. And it's actually been correct, because I've had all those over here. Like, and people say that our gatherings are the most diverse of any place you can find in Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're like, this is more diverse than Chelsea. And I love that.
Yeah.
But man, it's not only about that, but also getting my people used to people that don't think like them.
Yeah.
That don't look like them. And man, that's what I want. Like, people will come over and like, it's so good of your church to do that. I'm like, no, our people have benefited from this far more than anybody that walked up that was a part of our church.
Yeah. That's awesome. So it sounds like a lot of relationships have been formed through that. Tell me about, so you've been doing barbecue, you had it in your driveway, you took it public in festivals and events and Walmart parking lots, and then you formed your church. So how did all this shape who you guys are, who Chelsea Pres is, how did it shape your church, the body? How did it shape your worship? How did it shape, you've talked about a bit about how it shaped your people, but if there's more on that. So.
Yeah. By the way, when you said all that, it sounded a little more sexy than what we've gone through.
Yeah, it always is in the retelling of it. So
looking back, I was like, you know what? I need to take time to celebrate that. Thank you, God.
Absolutely.
But all right. So here's the cool thing. So we started this church before we even launched worship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, meaning that we're doing barbecue events.
Yeah.
So we start the church, and people are used to this. And we do communion every week, by the way.
Yeah.
But about 4 weeks in,
Mm-hmm.
our ladies started bringing food, like brunch food, not like donuts. I'm talking about like sausage casserole and biscuits and gravy, all that.
Like real
I'm like,
food.
where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is it was because we started the gatherings, and they brought that ethos into our church. And to this day, people really are like love the idea. We have visitors in. I mean, imagine this, that instead of walking into a pew or a chair, and sitting there and wait for somebody to talk to you, imagine you're invited to a table.
Yeah.
And so we have good coffee every week. And by the way, we ain't serving Folgers. Like when people drink it, they're like, where's this coffee from? Well, it's locally roasted. And not because, and I'm not bragging, but I'm saying we're going to provide something good and quality to these people that are walking in, where they feel like they've been invited, not just to my house in the driveway or inside, but they've invited to a table.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting down. And we do communion every week. So I always tell people, like, what do you think about being invited to a table and then later in the service being invited to the table?
Yeah.
And I think, man, like, I wouldn't trade that for anything, man.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm talking about. Like this, like at some point you create a culture and a conversation around that culture that's contagious.
Yeah.
I feel like those are two C's in that, that you need to, we've got to think about.
So,
my computer said it's running out of power.
Oh, okay. I'll check on that real quick.
Anyway.
Okay.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
In that way. And I think,
is weekly.
That's where you blur the lines between hospitality at my driveway and other people's driveway or their house and our worship on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
They should all look the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really what I'm getting at.
Why did you, what took you to weekly communion?
Well, I mean, it's a simple thing. And that is, I know my own heart, and I need to be reminded of what Jesus did every week. That's really it.
Yeah.
And we do it by intention, which means we have a common loaf, a common cup.
Yeah.
And we do it in a way because everybody's scared of, drinking from a common cup nowadays. Yeah. So we do it, they dip in.
Yeah.
But man, I need my people to understand that they need that every week.
Yeah.
And there's no, it's not that it's a formula in that way. It's just that we need a reminder.
Was there pushback on it at first at all?
No. Okay. Well, all my people are unbelievers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even know what church is supposed to look like, which is great in a lot of ways because they're just like, okay, this is what church should be.
Yeah.
But there's other things like, oh, I'm supposed to give more than just throwing a $10 bill in the plate.
Right.
And so there's all that. So, but that's an extension of hospitality. Like everything we do is kind of centered around feasting, mainly because the pattern in the Bible is always, and I'm preaching through Joshua right now, and right in the middle of the conquest that he's doing, and right in the middle of the covenant promises, they just kind of break out in worship where he reads all the words of of Moses
Yeah.
in chapter, I think it's 9. But all that to say, I need my people to get out of the pattern of just being about conquest.
Hmm.
I need them to dwell on the covenant promises, and I need them to find occasions to celebrate, not in a hedonistic way, not in a
Hmm.
way where I love drinking, so I'm just going to do it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you,
Yeah. Fine.
yeah, yeah. But they celebrate it tied into those things, and
Hmm.
so man, I'm just, but they're, man, like I said, 80% of our people are unbelievers. But what brought them in,
Hmm.
and they will tell you this, is that we did gatherings where they felt like they were a part of it.
Yeah.
They felt like they could be vulnerable. They felt like we were vulnerable, but most of all, they felt like they had people around them that were authentic.
Yeah. 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 And sitting
So
around a table, it's, both in your driveway,
yeah,
both walking into a church service that meets you with food tables, and then coming to the table. There's hopefully less
that's huge, man.
opportunity to be able to
And, and you've got to give them
hide.
category. You got to
Yeah.
give them categories. You got to, like, what I've realized is I can't just show them.
Hmm.
I got to tell them, did you see what we did?
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I had people at 4th of July, and they're like, that was the best 4th of July we ever had.
Hmm.
And I said, do you know why that was?
Hmm.
And they're like, no. And I'm like, because we had people there that knew each other. We
Hmm.
had people there that felt welcome. We had, you walk them through that.
Yeah.
You can't just expect them to like automatically get it. You
Yeah.
got to tell them like why it was so good.
Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
It's great.
yeah,
What's it been like, the connection to the community? I think you told me you've been a barbecue judge, or you fed the barbecue participants with your own barbecue.
yeah,
And you said, you're friends with Mayor. You've told me, how the deep connections that you have within your community. But tell
yeah,
me how those came about.
yeah. So you know, you can you can attribute it to it's a good old boys club and I'm in the inner circle.
Hmm.
I mean, that's baseline. Like, there's a politic to every
Yeah.
culture, and I hate that.
Hmm.
I don't want to be known because I know who I know.
Yeah.
That's not really like I'm not excited about that as
Yeah.
much as people know, like, I and the rest of my church are here for the community,
Yeah.
and that we're going to be at everything we can. We're gonna do everything we can
Hmm.
for the community. Part of that is that hospitality piece, but the other part is just showing up
Yeah.
and being present in the community. It's just like a relationship. When I look back at my daughter and what she was most excited about when I was a dad wasn't some big, you know, teaching moment that I did,
Yeah.
but she's like the moments that I was present, and I think that's a big part of that,
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, and for the town to know that, um, I think you already know that we're like an extension of everything we've done is going to be a food truck that we're doing in the Chelsea community,
Yeah.
and there's it's not just that, oh, we cook great barbecue, or oh, the church has this massive thing that's going to be like fabulous. The biggest thing about it is it creates a third space where we can meet people
Hmm.
and that people know that we're here permanently.
Yeah.
We ain't going away,
Right.
and we're gonna keep working on all those things. I think Did I give you one of these
Yeah,
before?
you gave me one of those shirts, Holy Smokes
Okay.
Barbecue Team. Yeah,
Well, here we go.
yeah.
New
You got new
the
ones. There you go.
this is going to be a part of our wrap too.
Yeah.
And then because it's hot in the south.
Yeah, you gotta go light colors. I
Yep.
see you're avoiding the Alabama team colors, I assume. Is that right?
I've got to. Listen, man, I'm from Arkansas, so when I first moved here, the they're like Alabama or Auburn.
hmm
And I said, I'm gonna blow your mind. Like, I'm from Arkansas. And they're like, do they still have a football team? And so that's kind of where I live. And we had this, which is not even close to the Auburn
Right,
color,
right.
but my Alabama people were not happy. And so that was funny, man. But all that to say, like, over time, this thing is materializing. And it doesn't always materialize the way you think it would.
hmm
Meaning that the food truck thing, I never thought that would be a possibility.
Yeah,
And the church, I kind of wish we had more people right now.
yeah.
Like, that's not materializing the way I thought it
Right,
would.
right.
But at the end of the day, like, if you're being faithful, especially in the area of hospitality, at some point you need to understand a few things. First of all, that your context is going to be different.
hmm
Like, there are probably people that listen to what you and I were talking about, and I mean, I'm just thinking about you and me. Like,
hmm
how different are we
Yeah,
right now? It's just totally different. Second thing is, man, you just at some point you risk it all.
yeah.
Meaning that you're just vulnerable. Your house is not going to be clean enough. Your driveway is not going to be clean enough. Your your food may not be good enough.
Yeah,
But at some point, you risk it for one thing, and that is if people are coming to know the Savior of the universe through what we do, then man, I'm okay with that.
yeah,
And if they don't come, and I know that I've been faithful,
yeah.
and I've loved them, everybody around me, and my neighbors love me, like, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It sound like I see the connection between like the presence, your own presence in the community, and the presence that you have like with
mm,
barbecue. You got to be there for it. You got to tend it. This isn't a
yeah.
pellet smoker that you're running. This is, this is a wood burning thing, and so you got to be there to be able to tend it and know what's going
Pecan wood, by
on.
the way.
What's that?
Yeah.
Pecan wood. Yeah,
Pecan wood, by the
yeah,
way. Yeah.
and so like there's just this huge overlap, and now
Mm,
you're talking about doing a food truck to be able again to be
yeah.
that. It feels so natural. I think when you first told me, I think you were playing with the idea, you're wondering if you should do it or could do it, and it just felt like such a extension of who you are already
Mm,
in your
yeah.
community. um
Man, and that's a good thing that you mentioned, Mark, because maybe you're not the guy that comes natural to
mhm.
as a pastor. Like, it does you.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. But and that's okay.
mhm.
But find somebody that's good at it.
Yeah,
Find somebody else that, I think, I'm talking to a lot of people and they're like, man, I could never do that.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, you got somebody in your church that can?
yeah, yeah,
And who cares?
yeah.
Like we have this pressure to, like, we're these be all, do all people, like we're freaking Superman as the pastor.
Mhm.
Like, man, find somebody that's good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe they'll teach you a little something, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. What I mean, so barbecue's been your kind of means, kind of your method
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
it for hospitality and feasting in the church, but why does that even matter? Who cares? Like why does hospitality and feasting in the church matter?
Man. save the most philosophical and hardest question for last, right?
Yeah.
You can answer that better than I can. Why does it matter? Like, this is going to sound crazy. Like, it matters because I need this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we always think that the world needs it, or my neighbors need it. But as a pastor, I need it.
Yeah.
I need, man, when I'm resentful, and when I'm angry, and when I'm just out of whack spiritually, the number one thing I go back to is serving. And if I like that, that's really the only remedy for me.
Yeah.
For anger.
Mm-hmm.
I have an anger.
Yeah.
I have an anger problem, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I've got an anger management problem. Like, I have to preach the gospel to myself every day about that. But, man, I think that, what if the thing that, is like, what if, hospitality is not for others, but it's for ourselves? That's really what I'm saying. What if, one of the biggest forms of discipleship in our churches for our people is for them to understand that they need to die to self, serve without expectation, and pursue the needs of others. I think everything else is going to be like gravy, on that. Like, I'm not trying to save the world.
Right.
I'm just trying to disciple my people as much as I am wanting to serve other people. But I think you can't export what you don't have.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I'm not in a position where I'm willing to give up myself, then or love myself even, then I can't love others.
Yeah.
I can't serve others. So, man, I don't know if that's the answer to the question. That was the hardest one.
I think that's a great answer.
Because that I kind of got torn, because you know what I wanted to do first? I wanted to say, because we want the city of Chelsea to all be fed, but then I was like, no, man, I think this is more about discipleship.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to think about that a little bit, man.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
awesome.
Either I just made that up, or God was very kind to show that to me.
There's a hospitality of God that, as we seek for it ourselves, He shows up for us. So,
that's right, man. I mean, and that's really it, dude. At the end of the day, if I had something to say at the end, like, my hospitality and my serving others is driven by what God has done for me. And if I don't lead with that, and know I am needy and poor, and that I need hospitality, then I'm not going to be able to show it the way I want to.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to pause the conversation. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much, James, for your time.
Mark, thank you, man.
I love what you guys are doing down there.
Man.
Having the opportunity to spend time in your driveway, knowing like your context, and I'm just grateful for you, both as a pastor, but also as a friend as well. So thank you very much. Appreciate it,
man. Thank you, Mark. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been Feast Days, conversations on hospitality and feasting in the church. It is a podcast production from the Table Project. I'm your host, Mark Grapengater. This episode has been produced by me as well, Mark Grapengater. To find out more about the Table Project, find us online at thetabledenver.org. If you have questions or comments or know someone who should be a part of these conversations, please email us at hello@thetabledenver.org. A good way to stay a part of these conversations is to subscribe wherever you listen and follow us on Substack at thetableproject.substack.com. May you find yourself at the table of God's grace and invite others to join you there as well. Grace and peace.